If you want to make 2025 your best year yet, you need to pay attention, get some notes out, and watch this video, because we're going to be deep diving into the things that you need to be doing to make sure that you are achieving the success and hitting the goals that you are setting yourself this year. Because if you don't watch this video, you are only going to fail. So a really nice place for us to start, I think, is to actually share what our goals are for the year and how we set them and how we go about achieving them. So 2025, what are some of the goals that you're going to be achieving this year?
So I've split my goals into personal and business goals. Now, some of the personal goals, I want to get to, well, currently I'm at about 85 kilos. I've put on, like most people have, the Christmas podge. So I want to try and get rid of that. Get down to 82 kilos. But my body fat, according to the scales that I use, whether or not it's any good or not, I don't know, is about 18% body fat, as shocking as that is. So I want to get that down to 13%. So I want to be as granular as I can, so I know exactly where I want to be in terms of body fat and weight, because it's all good and well saying about weight, but, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger as a bodybuilder would have been very heavyweight, but also, you know, it's not exactly bad weight, is it really? So how about you?
The really important thing that I love what you've just sort of gone into the detail of that. And it's the big thing that I want to really start on when it comes to setting goals, whether it's a New Year's resolution, whether it's a goal, a vision, whatever you've set yourself for the year, you need to make your goals smart. They need to be specific, measurable, achievable, related, and time-based. If nothing more, they need to be specific. And I love what you said about your current weight. So you've taken a measurement exactly where you are at the minute. And then you've set yourself a standard or a goal where you want to be, which is going to be this 82 kilos, but with a 13% body fat, which is a great goal to have. But you're now going to be able to take that goal and you're going to be able to set different tasks throughout the year or plans to be able to get you there. Now, again, you would make that task or that goal time-based. So you would say, I want to achieve it in 6 months or 3 months or 12 months, however long you'd like. But as long as you're following those SMART principles, any goal that you set, you will ultimately end up failing if you don't follow that principle. For example, if you just said, I want to lose a bit of weight, or my New Year's resolution is I want to lose a bit of weight and I want to lower my body fat. Well, how much is a bit? How much weight do you want to lose? When do you want to lose it? How are you going to lose it? It's so broad that you're never going to get there because you've not given yourself the opportunity to be able to actually set a goal that you know you can achieve, because you don't even know what you're trying to achieve yourself. And so what I love about that goal is that it's completely measurable. You've taken the measurables up to now. It's specific. It's certainly achievable. You know, it's not something that you've turned around and said, I want to be 0.1% body fat and weigh 1,000 kilos.
Run a marathon.
You know, and look like He-Man. Oh, that's not going to happen. It's impossible without, you know, certain substances, but I wouldn't advise that.
There we go.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that you've got to make sure that any goal that you're setting in life is smart. So for me, obviously one of my big drivers, and I've done exactly the same as you, and I challenge and recommend everybody to do exactly the same thing. Split your goals into career or work and personal. Have two separate sets of goals and make sure that you're keeping them separate from each other, because they are never usually the same. So for me, I would class this as, you know, it is slightly work-based, this podcast. And so I want to grow the social media following to this, across all of our platforms for this podcast, to 10,000 followers. Now, to break that down, I would set a timeline for it. And then I would make sure that I look at the current. So I'm measuring how many followers we've got at the minute. Then I would look at what we can do to increase the follower count, whether it's through paid ads, marketing, launching episodes, shorts, being present on all of the platforms. And slowly but surely, I can guarantee you we will hit 10,000 followers in the time that I've given myself, because I've been specific, and then I'm going to be tough on myself to make sure that I achieve it. And then another goal for the career side is I want our business to hit over £5 million this year. So I want to do a penny over 5 million. So as long as we hit over that 5 million mark, it'll be a record for our business. And again, I need to break that down into where are we at now? How long have we got to do it? 12 months. What does that mean in terms of sales per week, sales per month, sales per quarter? And I can track that throughout the year and ensure that I am on track with my goals, not just setting a goal on the 1st of January and then getting to the end of December and going, did I get there or not? Because it's just up in the air at that point.
I think people don't get down into the nitty gritty and the specifics because they don't want to hold themselves to account, because it's hard. You know, the minute you become more specific, the minute you've got an actual visual target of exactly where you want to be. And, you know, when you're all vague, it's, oh, I want to lose weight. And then by the end of the year, if you've lost, like, say, like 0.1 of a kilo, you'll go, oh, well, I sort of did it really. Whereas if you're really holding yourself to account and you follow it every week or every month, like with me, at Sunday morning, every Sunday, I'll get on the scales and I'm extremely specific with it, because if you start doing it at the end of the day on a different day, or when you've eaten them, when you've, you know, you're not going to get accurate readings. So again, it's important to know the best way of monitoring yourself as well to get the best results. So that's why, that's one of the big goals for me anyway.
Love it. And like I said, just knuckling down on it again. So any goal that you set yourself, for example, I want to go to the gym. Don't say I want to go to the gym. Say I will go to the gym this number of times per week. The next
for a certain amount of time as well. How many times you're going to, how many minutes in the gym as well?
Exactly. If you get good at it. But the biggest thing that sort of this leads me on to is usually when people set goals, they set themselves a target that is almost a mountain to climb, and they stand at the bottom of Everest, look up and go, that's a long way. And it completely deflates them, and it sort of prevents them from even taking that first step. There is that lovely expression where it's shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. And there's elements of truth to that. But that's for people that are really sort of grinding away at their goals and ticking them off, quite quickly and quite consistently. But if you're new to this, and trust me, setting goals is going to be the biggest return on your time investment that you can possibly make in life, because without a set of goals, without a set of targets for you to hit, you're just wandering aimlessly throughout life. And again, I feel so sorry for people that are out there that don't know what they want in life. They haven't got any missions or visions for their lives. They haven't got any purpose. They don't set themselves goals. Because for me, one of the most beautiful things in my life isn't the pursuit of happiness. It's the happiness in the pursuit. And again, I love that quote because it just embodies how important the journey is over the actual pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It isn't about that pot of gold. It isn't about the reward that's waiting for you. It's the scars, the lessons, and the things you learn along the way throughout that journey towards the pot of gold. And too many people now want that instant gratification. So they set a goal. I want to be a millionaire. It's not specific. It's not time related. It's not achievable. And it's not going to happen for most people.
How? Unless you buy a lottery ticket. It's like, what is that? Maybe that's not a bad goal for some people.
Exactly.
At least you're getting specific, right? I want to be a multimillionaire. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy the lottery every single week. I mean, I wouldn't advise that one.
Of course not, but they're the idiots that think it's never going to happen for them, because again, they are never going to understand the joy of the pursuit in becoming a millionaire, because it sucks. But at the same time, that suck is the best part, because it's the time where you grow the most as a person. You become capable. You become respected, and then you've got the knowledge. Whereas if they were to take everything away from you, you've still been on the journey and you can do it all over again. So it's massively important that you need to remember when you're setting goals, or that if you haven't got any goals, go and write some down. Think about what you want, however small, however large, start to set some of them.
Yeah, and when you're saying about the pursuit, I mean, we've talked about it in previous episodes before with Elon Musk. You know, he enjoys that whole process of building companies, and he's got the battle scars, and then he now can go off on his own. And if he lost all his money, you know, he'll be able to build a successful company all over again because he's got the recipe. Now, if you get the recipe and learn the recipe for goal setting, and then you start achieving those goals, you got the recipe. Even if you just do it with something small, like you're saying, you can then do it with everything and set a goal with as much stuff as you want. I mean, I've got one down here. Buy myself an expensive watch worth at least a minimum of £5,000. You know, it's as specific as it's going to get at the moment. I should maybe go into brand.
What are you thinking?
It's got a probably an Omega at the minute.
Why?
Because of James Bond.
It's a great reason. I like it. Getting into some of the marketing that we've done before, you know, these luxury watch brands, you know, they're not selling you a watch that's great at telling the time. We've talked about that before, because a digital Casio is going to tell the time better than your new 007 Omega, as beautiful as those watches are.
Engraved 007 on the back of Pierce Brosnan's face, the best James Bond, I reckon.
Definitely not. But going into the reasons behind the goal, and again, I talk about it, you know, to be able to afford yourself a watch like that, the journey that you've been required to go on to be able to afford it, and the sacrifice that you've had to make, whether it's through time, whether it's through learning, whether it's through failures that you've had to overcome, to be able to have the money, to be able to, and not just the money, the disposable income, to be able to walk into that watch shop and say, I want the Omega, whether it's the Speedmaster, Seamaster, both beautiful watches, anything else, you're having an absolute mare. But you need to go on the journey. You need to set the goals and remember that the pot of gold, you'll buy the watch and you'll feel fulfilled and you'll think this is great, but that feeling will go. It's fleeting. The watch itself isn't what's valuable. It's the story behind the watch that's allowed you to be able to walk into the shop, speak to the person behind the counter, go through the whole process of trying it on, taking the links out, making it fit, finding out all the useless information about the watch and what it does and all its features, and taking the watch out of the shop, wearing it and feeling proud. But, you know, within a month, you'll go, I want a Rolex now. You know, that's just how it works.
That's next year's goal.
There you go. Good. I like it. Planning ahead, which is useful. But what that watch tells you, and to be honest, what it also tells everyone else, is that you're a guy that's been able to achieve something and that you've been able to allow yourself the ability to afford something that most people can't. And the only way you've been able to get there, like you said, look, ignoring the lottery or inheriting it because whatever, but you've been able to work hard, add value, go through the trials and tribulations of business and be able to afford yourself that watch. And the story behind it is what's beautiful. And that's the same because other people see the story in the watch. It's the same thing with being fit and healthy. You know, you look at people who clearly work out, who clearly go to the gym. You know, we as a society, we find that attractive, not because of the actual physical shape of it. It's because we recognize and we attribute the hard work and consistency and dedication that it goes into achieving a level of health or a physique that can only be achieved through hard work. And we admire it. If the reverse was true, where in some parallel universe, to get really fat and let's say overweight and me walking around with man boobs was hard work and determination, and when you went to the gym, you put body fat on, that would be the attractive look.
It is true though, but in some of these Aboriginal tribes, and I'm sure the one was in Mexico, where it's if the guy has a big belly, they're like the top of the tribe because it's attributed to like, I don't know, some form of like, you know, big hard work and wealth and food and all this sort of stuff. So actually it is completely true because they'd probably look at someone who's got a 6-pack in that tribe going, bloody hell, what an idiot, he has to do all the work.
Right, well, you can go and live with the Aboriginal tribe then. We're going to go.
I'm in that tribe with my 85 kilo pot belly at the minute.
I'm sure you are. Yeah, we'll send you to Mexico. I'll be here with the rest of the world where common sense prevails. But no, look, I like it. And I think that watch is something that you'll be proud of. And again, I go back to the journey behind it, and the story behind the watch will mean far more to you. And that's why it's something that once you've got it, you'll probably never sell it because it means so much to you.
Yeah, it's like everyone remembers their first car, and the amount of happiness and the work that it took to be able to learn to drive to then finally have your first car. It's probably, I'll never forget mine. I'm sure you're going to be the same. And I'm sure pretty much everyone's going to be the exact same. You're never going to forget that first car and the first feeling you've got where you've taken months to learn how to drive, manuals or automatics or whatever it is, manual in my case and probably most, but the amount of work that it's took to learn to then get behind the wheel and you're like, bloody hell. And it's pretty cool anyway, obviously, when you first get into the car. But again, it's the hard work that you've put in that then allows you to drive a car. And
I go back to what I said earlier, where I feel sorry for people that haven't got that goal or that target. So if you're watching this video and it's the start of a new year, it's 2025, and you haven't got any goal set, or you're that person that says, oh, it's cliche, seems stupid, why would I set goals? It's embarrassing. It's not. Those are the people that are going to get ahead in life. And realistically, you're the one that's going to be the loner at the bottom or the sad case at the bottom who's going to get to the end of your year and you've got nothing to look back on and reflect. What have I achieved this year? Nothing. Great. Well done, you. Who's the loser? Who's the one that's losing out? The one that's actually set the goals that you were looking down on, saying it's embarrassing, but they've got to the end of their year and they're richer, they're happier, they're healthier, they're more successful, they've learned and they've grown as a person. And you're there the same as last year, still fat, still a loser, still in the same job that you hate because you've not done anything about it and you've not set any goals. So I challenge everybody that's listening, set the goals, please, because it is so important just for your life in general. Humans thrive off purpose. I know I do. And I know I've never had to battle with any sort of mental health demons, or I've never struggled with that side of things, because even from an early age, I had a purpose. I was setting goals and I was achieving them. Yes, I had days where I struggled and I didn't get things done and I didn't want to get out of bed and I felt sorry for myself, but I still was driven by this purpose, which completely blocked out any of those demons. Now, I don't want to detract away from, the severity of some of the mental health conditions that are out there. But for me personally, I 100% know with certainty that because of the purpose that I've had in my life and the goals that I've set myself every year, that it has helped stave away any form of negativity, any form of self-doubt, because I have been able to set myself a task, set myself a goal, go through the learning, go through the pain, come out the other side and feel like I'm a better person for it.
Yeah, the thing is, if you set yourself a goal and then achieve that goal, it's going to release a lot of serotonin and dopamine and all that sort of stuff, which is the happiness hormone or drug essentially. And it's going to make you feel good. So yeah, the people that do set goals, they are going to feel better about themselves and they're going to want to go out in the world and then do more and be happier. And it's just an upward spiral of continuous feeling fulfilled and feeling happy because you're rewarding your happy bank.
Love it. Referring to another episode, that happy bank is so important. Here is some brothers in business how-tos when it comes to goal setting in 2025. First things first, make a vision board. In whatever capacity you see a vision board being, whatever you think is going to give you the most motivation, print out what you want. Put it everywhere. Stick it on your bedroom wall, your bathroom wall, your office wall, the gym, wherever you can. Another good one, set it as your screensaver, whether that's your goals or your vision board, whether they're together. Make sure that it is in eyesight and it is almost becoming a pain in the arse. It's that evident everywhere you go. It's following you around like a shadow. because that is what it takes to be able to stay on track. Because as humans, we're all terrible. We all, certainly in today's age, we're all being distracted with technology. We're all being distracted with our friends asking us to go out. We're all being distracted by social media and influencers that we see that are on holiday in the Maldives every 5 minutes. And it means that because of all of that distraction, if you haven't got an equal opposing force pushing in the other direction, saying, no, these are your goals, you need to stay strong and you need to make sure you're spending each day moving one step closer towards your goals, you will fail. It's going to become too hard for you to stay on track with all of these distractions in place. So get the vision board, put it everywhere you can. Even if it annoys your friends, your family, whoever you're living with, don't care. This is more important. Stick it up, make it a wallpaper, I don't know, whatever you can do so that every single day you have a reminder of why you've set those targets and what those goals are.
So I've recently just started up the 75 hard challenge where there's certain parameters, 5 HIIT workouts a week, 5 gym workouts a week. And that's all been written down. I've wrote it in Sharpie pen and at this stage it is literally just sellotaped to my bedroom door. So every time I look at it and I'll see that I need to do it, I know I need to do it. And then at the end of every day, to hold myself to account, I'll get my Sharpie pen and I've got Monday to Sunday and I'll tick the days that I've done it. And if I didn't do it that day, I'll put a cross. And better believe I hate putting a cross in that flipping box. So I ensure that if I'm ever putting a cross, it's getting close to the weekend. So Monday to at least Thursday, they're always ticks. Because again, it helps me to keep me in line and make sure I'm doing it and it's visual, like the vision board.
Here's another great brothers in business hack for everyone. And it sounds old school, but sometimes old school is best. Make a diary. Because setting goals, and again, we talked about make it specific, make it time-based. Setting these goals is great, but remember these goals are going to be made up of individual activities that you're going to be doing every day, every week, every month until the end of the year or however long you've given yourself to achieve these goals. So if you don't have a diary to tell yourself when you're going to do them, again, it allows you that sort of ability to be able to forgive yourself when you don't do them. So using the gym, because it's quite a good example, if you said now you're doing the 75 hard challenge, which means 5 gym workouts every week, if you say on Monday, you've got no schedule, no diary in place for when you need to hit these workouts, you might go to Monday and say, oh, I'm a bit tired today. I'll do it tomorrow. And then I've still got 5 days to get it done. And then on Tuesday, you might train. Wednesday, you might feel tired again and say, oh, I'll do it on Thursday, which means I've got to train every day for the rest of this week. And then you don't do it. It gets to Sunday because now you've forced yourself to have to train every day. And there's more chance of you failing on that goal. So if you have a structured plan, whatever your goals are, create the diary and put a slotted time in there that you know isn't going to be interrupted, can't be taken away from you. And unless injury or death gets in the way, you are hitting that goal. You're spending that time achieving that goal, whether it's going to the gym, starting a business, bringing new followers to a social media account, getting in better shape, eating healthy, whatever it is, set yourself the time in your diary to put it to one side. And that is your hour of focus or time of focus. Cut distractions, get rid of your phone notifications, throw your phone away. Nothing in that time is going to be more important than you hitting that goal. And then again, a few other little hacks from that. Set alarms on your phone, set timers, make sure that you've got alarms or clocks or reminders, whatever you need to go through that diary. And it's all AI integrated now, so you can just set it up on a calendar and it'll remind you anyway, and make it as annoying as possible. You know, if we all know, like if we've got to get up in the morning for an early flight and we can't miss the flight, so we end up setting 10 alarms to make sure that we get up at 5 a.m. to hit that flight. Why aren't we doing that for the goals that we're setting ourselves? Why aren't we doing that to help push our life forward in the right direction? Make 10 alarms if you have to. Get somebody that you know or somebody that you're living with to come and chuck cold water over your face, whatever it might be. As serious as it is, as that sounds, or as silly as it sounds, I am being serious. It's important. This is your life. This is your life's purpose. You only get one life and you need to be living it as best you can. Be the best version of you that you can be. And you're only going to get there by setting these goals and achieving them.
The other way of doing it that I've, again, funnily enough, it's to do with fitness and health, that massively helped me is, we've gone on about coaching, again, massive one. That might not be available to everyone. So it's find someone who's quite like-minded and do those things together and say, you know what, we both want to lose weight. Should we go, let's go together and we'll make sure we go on these days. And if you know that you've told someone you've got that set in place, you're more likely to go. And to throw an extra bit of flavour in, which is what I did, I went to a PT and we both went to the same PT, me and a friend, and we both paid him, gave us what to eat, what to drink, and what not to drink and what not to eat, and how much to train. And I knew that at the end of every week, again, taking photos, that was lovely and embarrassing, sending to this guy. And my friend was doing the same. So I know he's doing it. So again, I'm thinking, shit, if I don't do it, he's going to show me up. So it's again, that extra level of, push to make sure that you're going to do the goals that you've set yourself because you've got someone else that's like-minded doing the same thing.
It's accountability.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you're looking for. It's have someone by your side. And this is, again, such a great hack. And you've touched on a really good point. Having somebody that you've got in your life that you can trust, who is going to hold you accountable to the goals that you've set yourself is so, so good because it just allows for this huge wave of additional motivation when you're both doing something together, because humans are tribal creatures, so we've always worked better in a pack. So when we're both trying to achieve something, if humans only ever worked on their own, we'd have been extinct years ago. We hunt in packs because we couldn't do it on our own because we're absolutely useless. But as a team, as a society, we can get so much done to the point where we're now landing on the moon and you've got Elon getting us to Mars. That's done as a tribe, as a society, as a team effort where we're all helping each other and we're all holding each other to account when we're setting these goals and targets. Elon Musk telling everyone that he wants to create a civilization on Mars. Couldn't do that if he was on his own. He wouldn't be able to build a paper aeroplane, let alone a rocket to get people to Mars. So have someone to help you and hold you accountable and really push on it with each other. I absolutely love that one. One of my other big ones, and again, this is sort of a bit of a nod to the learning aspect of it again. There's a really good book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Something that everybody should read at least once or twice in their lifetimes. It's a really useful book to help people to understand breaking down these goals and breaking down your current circumstance and finding a way to pick up and start these new habits, whether it's quitting smoking, starting the gym, saving money, getting a new job, increasing your salary, whatever it might be. There's always that first step, and the first step is always the hardest. And as I said at the beginning of this video, most people set a goal or a target and they just immediately create this mountain for themselves. And then they stand at the bottom of it and look up and they fail to take the first step because the challenge of climbing to the top of that mountain is so scary for them. Whereas if they simply set a goal where the first step, let's say I wanted to run a marathon, and I think this is the example he uses in the book. If I want to run a marathon, I need to start training to run and I need to improve my cardiovascular system. So first things first, it's about getting even just the equipment as stage one, something as trivial as just buying a pair of running shoes and buying the equipment, the shorts that you'll need to actually complete the marathon. That can be stage one, something as simple as that. Set that as the goal. And once you've done it, you get that dopamine and that serotonin, that boost, like you said, of feel good, going, wow, I've ticked the goal here. I'm actually feeling good. What's the next one? Right, well, I'm going to go for a walk to the end of the road. and then set that as a goal. And then you've got mini mountains that you can slowly work your way over, rather than saying, here's my start point, which for some people is couch potato. I've never ran in my life. And here's the end goal, run a marathon, 26.2 miles. And they think, well, that's impossible. But in reality, it's just a series of smaller broken down goals, smaller habits that are daily habits to help get you towards this greater goal, which might be buying a good pair of running shoes, which might be climbing that small mountain. And if you need some motivation for somebody that's doing long distance running, you only have to take a look at the hardest geezer, Russ Cook. What an athlete he is. You know, for him, that guy ran the entire length of Africa in less than a year. Now, I don't know whether he's some sort of superhero or just a freak, but he somehow managed to run a marathon a day. So if he can run a marathon a day over a course of 350 days or so that he managed to do it in, you can set a goal of running one marathon at some point in time. So use these people as motivation. Look for the people that have achieved the things that you want to achieve, whether it's running a marathon, whether it's losing weight, whether it's gaining weight, whether it's starting a sport, whether it's learning a hobby or an instrument or whatever. Look at the people who have done it before you, take inspiration from them, and use it to help you meet your goals as well.
Yeah, and I mean, with the running side, you know, watch that film, Run Fat Boy Run. He gets there in the end and runs the whole marathon. But no, joking aside, but it is, and I think what's good to have is someone to look up to and idolize that is already doing something that you want to do. So yeah, if you're wanting to get into running and look at Russ Cook and think, oh God, like I'd love to be like, oh, what's he doing? What's he wearing? What's he this? And you kind of become a runner. You are a runner when you bought your stuff, and try and just emulate. And then as long as you're emulating the right people and someone who's giving a positive, you know, worldview and on where you want to be, it's going to help you be more positive. And like say, even just buying the running shoes, you already start to getting in your head that you feel like you are, again, like I say, you are a runner.
It's all about mindset, 100%. Get your mind right and the rest of it will follow. So stop making excuses for not setting these goals. We've given a list of reasons why having goals in your life is going to be the most purposeful thing that you will ever do. I cannot stress enough why setting goals, especially at the start of the year, as cliche as it is with these New Year's resolutions, is super important for not only you, your life as a whole, the people around you, because you might even be able to support people who are trying to tackle the same goal as you. So work together as a team. But I would genuinely love to hear about as many of the goals that everybody has as possible. And we're here to help you achieve them as best we can. So stick them in the comments, send us a DM, let us know what your goals are, and we'll do our best to help you achieve them and hold you accountable. So thanks very much for watching. Look forward to hearing from you all. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.